Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I'm your host, Christian. Oh my God, that went off a little quicker than I expected it to be. But I am the unbiased king, Christian, the unbiased king Espinal, and also with me on Discord, it is the man, the myth, legend, the tank top sage. It's Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What's good, Chris? I miss Samurai 8 only sometimes. What's up, everybody?
Well, that's an interesting way to start the show. Why do you miss it?
It's true. What?
Why do you miss it only sometimes?
Because I don't miss it that much. There's every once in a while I'm like, yeah, it was cool. Maybe I miss the memories of when we was first starting the pod and covering the Samurai 8.
Yeah.
Those were really good times.
Those were really good times. But also joining us, it is my brother, it is my producer, it is Edgelord. Big news, Brian.
What's up, nerds?
Hey. Oh, yeah, we're back. We're early. A rare Sunday nighter at the time of this recording. Very excited to get into it. We only have a couple manga to talk about, so let's not waste any time. Let's get into plugs. You can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JDCole_37. That's on Instagram, and at NYChillin with an EN, not ING, and that's on Twitter. You know what's crazy?
What?
I think I've been giving the wrong Twitter name this whole time.
What's the right one?
I think it's at New Jump City Josh on Twitter as well.
Oh, did you change it?
I think so.
Nice. Well,
I'm barely on Twitter, so it's...
That's true. I'm also barely on Twitter, but follow me anyway.
Yeah, follow us anyway. Maybe.
Yeah, it just feels nice. You know, to have...
Instagram's where it's at, guys. Pull up.
That's true.
And the YouTube.
Brian, where can
and
they
the
find
Spotify's and shit.
Well, I'll get to that. Brian, where can they find you?
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Oh, yeah. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Follow us on Twitter especially because we do a really good chapter of the week poll. We did it this time as well. You thought you got me, but you didn't. I have a really good chapter of the week poll that just ended that we will announce the winner for. Very excited for that. So take part next week. Usually comes out about a couple hours after the official release on Sundays, where you guys get to vote for your favorite chapter, and we read it on the show. If you want to talk to us, you can email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we'll get to it at some point. So check us out on that. You can comment. Please comment on the videos if you're watching on YouTube. Let us know what you think about the manga, about the show, about anything. And subscribe while you're at it. Give us a subscribe, give us a like, give us a share the whole thing. Let's grow this podcast into something cool. If you prefer audio podcasts, of course we are on every single audio platform that you can think of. iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, we're everywhere. So check us out on that. Leave us a 5-star review. The audio version of the podcast usually comes out first, so that's a little incentive for you guys if you guys want to subscribe on there. And that's it. That's it for the plugs. Let's get into the show. One Piece. This is One Piece. What? One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1061, Future Island Egghead. Cover panel update. The Vinsmoke siblings have escaped with Niji and Yanji, Caesar Clown in tow, and I guess everything is good with them. We'll probably see a little bit more in the coming weeks for what this means for the overall story. I'm sure it will mean a lot, especially considering what's coming here. But let's get into the show chapter proper. Last we left off, the Straw Hats were just sailing, talking about the news with Sabo and Buggy and all that stuff happening. When they came across this giant eddy, which is like, I guess, an upstream water tornado thing that seemed to have been like heading right towards them. They cut through it, and inside is the 11 Supernova Jewelry Bonnie. Who is in her child form because her fruit allows her to age and de-age herself at will. Chopper got blown away, and Luffy jumped up to go catch him. So, there's just like a lot of chaos going on. They're trying not to fucking fall into the water. Meanwhile, on the ship, as the other crewmates are just like, what the hell's going on here? Down below, the Straw Hats are revealed to be directly above a giant fucking weird shark thing. It comes out, and we see a better look at it. It's a little more mechanical than it looks, like some kind of weird shark machine. And they're just trying to get away from it because this shark is attacking them. This shark robot shoots a fucking torpedo, like several torpedoes at the ship, causing it to fly outward. And everyone falls off of the ship into the water. Jinbei manages to save Luffy, Chopper, and I believe Jewelry Bonnie. So pretty much most of the involved Devil Fruit users, Jinbei manages to save. It's a very good move for him, and he manages to escape. This shark thing is aiming for the rest of the crew that is near the ship, and it's about to go after him, but then it is stopped by a giant fucking mech that's underwater, and it punches this shit so hard, and with a 100% true blue rocket punch. Rocket punch!
Get punched in your face!
I feel like we never get to use that drop, so there it is. Not in a legitimate way. So yeah, the Straw Hats are underwater and they're in a bit of a bind. At that point, we cut over to the naval branch G14, where we see the kids from Punk Hazard getting treated by Tashigi. She's there as well. We meet the Vice Admiral Dahl, that is the commander of the base. And she's talking about how she's getting real sick of this Helmeppo kid. And she's like,
oh man,
oh boy. And she's like,
yeah, he gets one of those, right?
He gets an oh man. Oh man, my wire is weird. Okay. Better? Okay, sorry. I was cutting out for a minute. So yeah, Kobe, we see that Helmeppo and this girl named Hibari, who's a naval HQ commander herself, they're both just begging the rear admiral and I guess vice admiral of G14 to go with them to save Kobe on Pirate Island, which is also known as Fullaled, because there's just so many fucking it's just pockmarked from constant shootouts.
Yeah, you know what time they are.
Yeah, it's
this is part of the war in the Bronx,
basically. So, he's begging these Marines to go, and they're like, "Why would we go there? That's where Blackbeard is. He's a fucking Yonko, bro. We don't even know." Helmeppo mentions that they're actually close to Egghead, and they could take the Seraphim over there, which we don't. Well, I guess we'll learn what that is later. But, so this admiral,
You're talking about the Seraphim?
the Seraphim, yeah.
Seraphim are the little warlord kids.
Oh, really? That's what they're called?
Yeah, that's what they're called.
Oh, I actually didn't know that. All right, well, the warlord kids.
Which makes me wonder if those, if there's, so they have to have multiple Seraphim spread out across the world, because the ones that I don't think the ones that they have are the Mihawk and, what's it called one? Like the Boa Hancock one. It has to be like some other warlord Seraphims.
Yeah, theoretically, they could have a Doflamingo and a Moria one. So.
Yeah, so maybe that's probably the ones they have, which would be sick.
Yeah, it would be
the
sick.
return of Doflamingo.
Yeah, they could, in theory, have a crocodile one. They could have a Jinbei one, honestly. Now that I'm thinking about it, a Law one. They could have a bunch of them. Anybody who's ever been a warlord, they could have that.
Blackbeard one.
A Blackbeard one. Although I doubt it for some reason. In any case, they revealed that they can't even make contact with Drake at this point. So, there's nothing they can do. Kobe's fucked. he's left behind. It's not viable for them to go on to Pirate Island right now. At that point, we cut over to where Luffy's team is, which is basically him, Jinbei, and Chopper, and of course Jewelry Bonnie. They made it to shore, and they're basically talking for a little while. There's a really cool moment where like Bonnie asks Luffy about his bounty poster, and she's like, "Why? What the hell's going on? Why is your hair white and all that stuff?" And he's like, "Well, that's what I look like when I'm free." And I think that's a very interesting thing to say.
Yeah.
I'll get into it when I get into my thoughts, I guess. But I really thought that was interesting in a weird, minute kind of way. So yeah, Jinbei asks about her crew and her ship, and Jewelry's like, "I'm alone. That metal monster ate my ship." So she doesn't even have a crew with her.
Did it eat her own crew?
I don't know.
Just her ship, right?
Yeah, from what I understand, Jewelry Bonnie was in the Reverie alone. So I don't even know if her crew went with her. But in any case, Luffy's just like, "Let's go look for a restaurant because I'm starving." And Bonnie is like, "There's no fucking restaurant here. This is a government island." And she explains that they are currently on an island called Egghead, which is a place 500 years in the future, and it's the island base of Dr. Vegapunk. So yeah, pretty big idea. Jewelry Bonnie seems to have a beef with him, as we know, as far as we know. So she is, I guess she's gonna give him a piece of her mind. We then cut over back to the Straw Hats back on the Thousand Sunny. The giant robot that saved them from the mechanical shark before ascends from the water, holding them. And, Frankie and Usopp and I guess Karibu are all freaking out.
Karibu, the crew member?
Yeah, the new crew member, Karibu. They're all freaking out about this.
That's right, Brian.
They're like, "Giant robot!" And then the giant robot opens its chest to reveal someone controlling it inside. And they're like, why isn't it possible to control the urges of living creatures? Frankie says, like, "I don't know who that is, but thank you for saving us, whoever you are." And the woman inside says that the only thing I ordered the mecha shark to do was recon and report. Don't want it to eat anything because no valuables are left behind. So I didn't want it to attack you guys, but it just did for some reason. And she says like, "Now, just a moment, filthy pirates. Who said anything about saving you? I'm just a humble genius hired by the government. You can call me Dr. fucking Vegapunk."
Oh no. She's an op.
She's an op.
Not Dr. Vegapunk.
Yeah. So we finally meet her. The elusive Dr. Vegapunk.
Wait, Dr. Vegapunk was always a woman?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Didn't he not call what? Wasn't he a male, an old man?
I don't know. We never see. This is the first time we've seen Vegapunk.
They never referenced gender-wise, like he or they.
That's what I was thinking. When I first read this, I was like, did they ever reference, like, in
Could
terms
this
of
be his daughter?
pronouns? Maybe it could be. It could just be Vegapunk.
Maybe he fucked the fridge,
Gave
it a robot vagina and had her.
If you look at what she's wearing, it says Punk 2. So this could be just a new body for him or something.
Oh.
Well, he can transfer consciousnesses into robot bodies. So, as we've seen with Kuma to a degree. So it's entirely possible. Or Vegapunk could just be a woman.
Right.
It could be Vegapunk, like, talking to them through a robot as well. So there's that.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out next week. Not next week. One Piece is off next week. But we will find out in 2 weeks. But until then, Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1061?
RGC.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's actually my RGC as well. Brian?
Oh.
I'll RGC it.
You better, man, because
Well,
we'll get into that later.
that also means that the audience voted this as well as their audience really good
Harmonic
chapter of the week.
convergence.
Oh, they put respect on One Piece's name.
Yeah, I mean, Black Clover was notably absent this week, so
Yeah, well, there's 4 other series too, so
yeah. I mean,
3 other, I guess, technically.
Undead Unluck came in second, very close actually.
Mm.
So but One Piece won this week, making this a harmonic, really good chapter of the week. I'm gonna play the unified one though because I still haven't figured out a good unified harmonic convergence, really good chapter of the week. So good for us.
Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
You don't got the harmonic convergence one? That shit was fire. Look at that, all on One Piece. That's crazy. I don't even remember the last time we had a harmonic convergence RGC. Let me see.
It's been a minute.
Oh, it was One Piece. It was One Piece again.
Hey, look
And
at
then
us.
it was Jujutsu Kaisen. All right, so One Piece got it twice. Jujutsu Kaisen has it once.
Two
This
very
is an
deserving
important-
ones. All right, Josh, what did you think about this?
And One Piece got it before, back in February 15th of 2021.
It's pretty good record keeping, to be honest.
Yeah. And that's as far back as it goes. Okay. Anyway. Okay, thoughts. I'm just gonna give it to y'all as I start from the chapter, right? Random shit that came to my mind. I was wrong about so many things in this chapter.
We all were.
As I was actively reading it.
We all were.
Not like theory wise or nothing. Every time I expected something, I was wrong. So let's start off with what I thought was a fucking sea king or whatever. What are they called? Sea lords?
Oh, yeah.
Fish gods?
Neptunians.
Huh?
Neptunians.
Oh. Sure. Okay. I thought that was a Neptunian, and I don't know. I think lore-wise, Neptunians are super dope. It just always means it's always a big deal if you see a Neptunian. I think so. Just how my mind works with the One Piece.
It is a big deal.
But I didn't notice that it had like robotic features until they said, "Oh, it's a shark, but it looks like a robot. It's too big for that," and made it. I was like, "Really? Aren't Neptunians that big, right?"
They're usually pretty massive.
This thing is actually massive. Look how big it is compared to the ship. I
Yeah.
really wasn't paying attention.
It also says Vegapunk on the side of it.
Yeah, I noticed that now. I actually did notice that.
Vegapunk does
But-
work with the Marines, right?
Yes.
I actually, for ass whooping of the week, I want to give at least a nomination to the shark beating, like what the shark did to the Sunny.
Yeah. I mean,
There's no
I think
contest.
I think we could do it like RGCs where each one of us has an individual ass whooping of the week. So this is Josh's ass whooping of the week.
So that's my nomination. That brother gone. All right. What else? I thought it was really cool seeing Jinbei jump into the water to save the crew. I mean, I guess it wasn't much of an issue before until it was recently. It's just brilliant to have a fishman on the crew, and with people who have devil fruits in case, since they're at sea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If someone could jump in there and rescue their lives, or just help them out in the sea battle in the first place. Oh, speaking about being wrong, when the robot pulled up to fight the shark, I automatically assumed that was Frankie's robot, and I was like, "Yeah, let's go, Frankie! What you came prepared?" He was like, "Nah, I'm not letting." What happened to the last time they fought somebody in the
You know
water?
what? I think you're
Wasn't
right.
that the Kraken?
First of all, I agree with you, especially because this robot also has a star on it, and it's like Frankie's
Yes.
thing. So I was like,
And
Frankie, let's
the
go.
big forearms too. This screams Frankie.
Yeah, for sure. But what were you saying? What was your question?
I don't remember.
Damn.
Sorry.
Damn.
I guess it wasn't that serious. It was nice to see Tashigi. I remember talking quite an amount of shit about her, to be honest, because we haven't seen her in so long. I wondered if she even existed as a character. This is further evidence, stacked on a mountain of said evidence, proving that Oda, amongst other manga, Shonen Jump authors and artists, listen to this podcast. So stay in tune with us, guys. You're in the right place. Anyway, yeah. So Tashigi pulls up, and I don't care about none of that. I really don't. So I'm not going to give any
Man,
thoughts.
fuck these kids.
I really don't. It was nice to see the kids.
Man, fuck them kids.
Jewelry Bonnie. Nice fan service, Oda, and I mean it. I'm not saying that sarcastically. This was nice.
Nice.
I'm glad they didn't keep her as a child. That would have been weird. I don't like that. We've all established, right? It's just
Nope. Yeah. Well, you have established.
not necessary. We don't need a child handmaiding.
Well,
Maiden. It's okay.
I'll say this: Oda doesn't necessarily sexualize minors like some manga do.
No,
Which is
not
nice.
necessarily. So
Which is nice. Which is
yeah, I'll take that.
appreciated.
I'll take that. Yeah, pay attention, future creators.
Yeah. Please.
Less of that shit. Anyways, I was surprised to see Vegapunk. I'm sure one of us called it out, right? Didn't one of us say maybe they're going to Vegapunk's island?
No, we were all like, they're going to Elbath. This is the one thing that we were incredibly wrong about. We were like, they're going to Elbath.
We were all wrong.
Yeah.
And she lives on. All right, Vegapunk lives on Egg Island, right?
Egghead. Come on, man. That's the name of the chapter, dude.
Oh man, whatever. All right, Egghead Island. You got it, Chris.
Hmm.
And you got it, Oda. I think Brian was right. This thing is probably a robot. Look at the antenna coming up out of the side of its head. That's on purpose. He did that for a reason. And robots need helmets too sometimes. That's why she's holding it on the side. And notice the forearms?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Robot for sure.
I see big form. Well, there's no reason that Vegapunk could also be a cyborg like Frankie.
This is something broadcast in his words. That's my guess. I'm going with another prediction.
All right.
Let's do it.
Hey, for us, that's pretty ballsy.
I'm partially male chauvinist, I guess, because I can't accept that Vegapunk's a woman. I don't care about that, really. That'd be cool. I just think when Brian said that, I was like, oh, yeah, right, probably. Why would he just be out there? Unless he's like Iron Man or something. All right, I'm getting ahead of myself. What did you think, Brian? What stuck out to you?
It was cool to see like Vegapunk like style thing happening. It's really been a long time coming. You know, we haven't seen Vegapunk since the start, and now we finally get to see like his fucking brilliant ingenuity that we've been alluded to this entire time. Because like they've said that his like technology and his creations have been like decades ahead of its time, you know, like so we finally get to see like what inspires Frankie, and you know, have probably a Frankie centric arc possibly as well, being that they're on Vegapunk's island now. I just wonder what's gonna be like, if Vegapunk's gonna be the villain of this arc. Like, I don't know who's gonna be the antagonist. But we'll see. That's this was a nice little, you know, there was some lore dump in it. It was nice to see Helmeppo and trying to hang out with trying to save his boy. Wait, are they implying that that what's his name?
Kobe
is on this island?
No, they're saying that they want to go to Egghead to pick up the Seraphim to go save Kobe.
Oh,
because they know he's on Pirate Island. They know he's on Full of Lead. So Helmeppo's saying that we should go to Egghead to pick up the Seraphim and take them.
Oh, I see. Okay, now I understand. So that could be a potential villain, you know. just the Vegapunk and his Seraphim.
Yeah. What else you got?
It was nice to see Jinbei kind of showing his experience and his like his metal. Like, this dude was fucking calling shots when everything went to chaos. He was like, all right, you do this, you do that, I'm gonna go save these motherfuckers. You know, make
Yeah, I
sure
like
everybody's
that.
safe. Like, he was delegating, he was like calling shots. He was like a third in line fucking captain right there. So it was pretty nice to see.
He is number 3
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think there's
and was the
probably.
captain of his own crew.
Yeah, he's been a captain before, so there's that as well.
Mhm.
But I don't have much more to say. This is just a classic One Piece chapter that really just set everything up perfectly for the next few chapters ahead. So sucks that it's on break next week, because I fucking hate when they do that.
Yeah.
Always end on some flame and then fucking give us a little shove back. But I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
He's made a career of it.
Yeah. We're out
Chris, what
here.
about you?
We're out here like, oh, One Piece is gonna end in 5 years. Well, not when Oda's taking breaks every other week. Come on, man, get on it. I have a few thoughts about this that are kind of interesting. I mentioned way back when we were talking about Luffy and Bonnie on the shore of Egghead, and Bonnie noting that she noticed that Luffy's hair is white, and his different appearance in his wanted poster. And Luffy mentions that, he's like, oh, that's what I look like when I'm free. And I think that's like a very interesting thing, a very interesting take on that kind of like trope of the power within on One Piece. Like every manga has that character, the protagonist with like something inside them, some kind of deity, some kind of being. We have One for All, we have the Nine-Tailed Fox, we have the Hollow, and Luffy has Nika, but the thing about Nika is that like it's still Luffy just using the abilities of a deity. It's not like Nika resides within his body. And I think it's very interesting that Luffy is like cognizant of Gear 5, and cognizant of the general idea of Nika. He may not even know that it's Nika necessarily. He just probably sees this as a form of the Gum Gum fruit because nobody's told him
Yeah.
that it's Nika.
He called it Gear 5. That's probably all he knows.
Yeah.
This is the next.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Luffy just kind of like. It's very in line with his character to really just embrace it and just to kind of like, this is what I do now. This is just like how I feel. This is me at my best potential, I just think it's very interesting that he's like very aware of it, even though they haven't discussed it at all. Like he hasn't talked about Gear 5 with anybody. So I'd like to see more of what he thinks about Gear 5 in general and like how that affects his disposition. But I think like something about Gear 5 may have changed him a little bit inside, like giving him a little more confidence and assurance, I think that's interesting. Obviously the reveal of Vegapunk is a big deal. Whether there's Vegapunk or not, I'm just going to talk about her as if she is, because that's all we know. Because I don't want to be wrong later and be like, this is Vegapunk. And a woman can be Vegapunk, okay?
Sure can.
So, obviously this has big implications for the future of the series. A lot of lore is actually connected to Vegapunk, so we could get a huge lore dump in this arc. Because Vegapunk is said to be known to know what the devil fruits really are. He may know like the secrets of how they came to be, and why are they fruits and all that stuff. The inner workings of devil fruits, so we could possibly get some big reveals on that front. We could probably get big reveals on terms of Kuma, because we know that Vegapunk works for the military, but she also seems to have like this chaotic side to her where before Kuma went down, Kuma asked her to give his robot one last order, which was to protect the Straw Hat ship during the time skip. If she was fully on the Marine side, I don't see her doing that. So I feel like there's definitely something there to say that, like, I think Vegapunk is, I guess, leaning more towards helping the Marines, but if she sees fit, she'll do whatever she wants. But very interested
She
to see.
better relax, because Zoro will slice that robot in fucking half.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much she'll actually be an enemy here. I don't think she's gonna be a villain necessarily. I don't know. We know nothing about Vegapunk, so we just know that she's brilliant and she's like ahead of her years. On one front, I guess the last thing I'll say, we were wrong, I guess, about the Elbaf coming directly next. Egghead's probably going to be like a mini arc in the same way that Punk Hazard was, where, it's probably going to be a prelude to a bigger arc that comes after, maybe Elbaf, but I'm excited for this. And Brian mentioned the prospect of a Frankie-centric arc coming up. I would be so ecstatic.
Oh, man, that would be so cool.
Personally, Frankie is like, he swims between the top 5 favorite Straw Hats for me. Even like top 3 even. Whenever Frankie has like a cool moment, it's always one of my favorites. So he probably had one of my favorite fights in all of Wano. So I'm excited to see if that's a thing. I would love to see more Frankie. I feel like he's underused as a character.
Speaking of Frankie, I guess this is a sort of a rebuttal, but really just a question of a history. Who was Frankie's mentor?
Tom, the guy who built Gold Roger's ship.
Ah, okay. And Tom was acquainted with Dr. Vegapunk?
I don't think so.
What's their connection?
No, he was just from what I understand, and this is all I know about Tom, is that he was a fishman that lived in Water 7. He was just a really talented shipwright. He just built really, really nice ships. So I don't think he had any particular connection to Vegapunk. But Frankie knows who he is, being an inventor himself, and so,
Oh, I see. Since that was his mentor and he built the Sunny, that's like like Tom building Gold Roger his ship. I guess that's the that's what's going on there. Mm-hmm. Okay, Frankie's connection to Vegapunk is just that he understands. He knew that they had the blueprints there at Water 7, and that he landed in his lab right during the 2-year gap.
He landed in one of Vegapunk's, actually in Vegapunk's like hometown where he grew up, or she grew up. Sorry.
Oh, or she, or she,
they,
or it, robot,
true. But yeah, I think those are all my thoughts. Very interesting. I'm pissed off that we got to wait another week, an extra week for One Piece, but I'm glad it won. I'm glad it won Harmonic Convergence, even though I was too scared to use the actual drop. But that's all I got to say about One Piece. Any final rebuttals? Anything left to say there?
Nope.
Alrighty then. Well, with that being said, let's move onward then. My Hero Academia. This is My Hero Academia, chapter 361, Deku versus All for One. We open up with a very well-drawn color page. And we move on to the chapter itself. I thought Josh was going to break in there.
Oh, no. I'll save that for my thoughts at the end.
Yeah. Anyway.
Thanks, though.
Yeah, I tried to give you a good in, but let's get into it. We start off with how Deku got to the battlefield in the first place. Something we probably could have surmised at a point. I think we figured this out. The airships that worked with Stars and Stripes flew in, and they're like, "Come on, buddy, let's go together." And Deku hitches a ride with them. They talk about how they were apparently guarding the skies of UA, but
Right. Time out. Okay. So I'll be honest with you guys, all right? Totally honest, not sarcastic. When I first seen the Jets pull up in the last chapter, I'm not gonna front. One of my first thoughts was, where did they come from? You know, like where was these Jets at? Because that doesn't, you know what I mean? Like that's just crazy that they would just come out of nowhere to support Deku.
To
like
be
that's
fair,
so random.
I will
right?
say this: they were in Japan. After Star and Stripe died, they touched down there, and they gave them all the information on Shigaraki.
Or the Jets, and they could go really fast from America to Japan.
No, they were still in
Or
Japan
who
this
gives a
entire
shit,
time.
right? Or who really cares?
They were in Japan.
Who really cares? One of those, maybe. You know?
No, they blatantly said that they were gonna fly. They were supposed to fly back to America, but they stayed to ensure that, you know, the heroes win in Japan because of Stars and Stripes. That's literally what they said.
All right. Yeah. That is what they said. Now, because I am honestly an asshole, I was being sarcastic the entire time. I don't understand why Horikoshi. I should have saved this for my thoughts. I don't understand why Horikoshi feels the need to let us know, like somebody was gonna be like, no fucking way. Where did those jets come from? Why would he point that out? That they were there in that little. First of all, that doesn't look like a jet. If we're just you want to play that game, Horikoshi? This unnecessary. This is a contrivance right here.
Is it?
It's got to be a contrivance,
no,
Chris.
it's not a contrivance.
It was. That's not you. That doesn't even necessarily prove that was a jet. But why? That's not a contrivance, I guess. But boy, I wish it was. Boy, I wish it was. So I could use my favorite word.
We've seen. To a lighter degree, we've seen Jujutsu Kaisen do the same thing, where they over-explain a little point where we're like, "I would have bought it, bro. You didn't have to say that. It's okay."
This was the most insignificant. This is the most insignificant pull I've ever. And then he had the. There's no other way to interpret this, guys. He gets the little panel. I should have saved this for my thoughts. I'm gonna do this next time. I'm sorry, everybody, but listen. He throws this little square there in the corner, like the evidence. Like, yeah, if you go back to that chapter, you'll see. From that, he doesn't even say what page, like a real American comic does. Hey guys, check out chapter such and such from so and so.
Well, to be fair, none of them do. None of them do that.
In the manga?
No mangaka does that, where they're like, check.
No, but he's trying. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if he's trying to go for the whole, oh, this is like American comics.
I mean,
you fucked up both ways, bro.
I think he's just. There's nothing wrong with kind of giving them like a stake in the fight, you know? Like, it's not like they're just gonna show. What are they, just robots? They just show up and then don't say shit.
My thing is, I don't care.
We fly jet. They come to help you get there. Okay, that job done. Like, are they not
Brian, you're missing the point.
Are they not human beings, bro? They're just fucking robots to you.
I'm cool with the jet niggas. They fly. No pun intended. Really, no pun intended. For real. But,
so they fly there and they're like,
they gangster, because he even says like, all right, we were supposed to be. This could have been a lit scene that was completely ruined for me by Horikoshi trying to like prove that they were there, and it's like no one cares that they really were there or not. Like they here now, they're in jets, they're flying around the fucking world. They were on their way, and they ran into Deku, and no one needed proof on that. Not one fucking person on this planet needed that.
I feel like you're reading into it too much. You're reading into it way too much. Like, I didn't even notice this when I first read it. Like, you're ODing right now.
I did. Well, you know what? It's because I was set off by something else already, and then it was like a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, Josh has a very easy domino effect on his rage. All it takes is for one thing to piss him off to continue pissing him off for perspective 15 other pages. So that was page 2.
That's some old school. That's some vintage.
Yeah, for real. So yeah, Deku flies off, and he basically Spider-Man's his way through the jets until he arrives. And now we're in the present. Him and Shigaraki are clashing. He manages to kick Shigaraki so hard that he tumbles. He like bounces into a giant, weird mechanical thing, and he catches a glimpse of the flowing energy that off of Deku, and he notices it's from the Fajin guy, and he's like, "I've seen that before." And now that there's like a minute to kind of settle in and take everything in, Deku notices that all of the supporting characters are defeated on the ground. Bakugo in particular is still dead, but he's getting resurrected. So
He's on his way.
yeah, so
Who goes on his way?
he is on his way. He's looking at
on his way.
the rest of the carnage. Best Genius is just barely standing up. Nejire's down. Sun Eater's down. Miriko's down. And then All For One continues to talk his shit. He's like, got some excuse for being late?
Look at that pose he takes.
Yeah, he has a cool pose.
I didn't notice that before.
Yeah.
It's on all fours like a fucking spider or something.
Yeah, the faces of his family that are his fingers are facing the grass at this point, which is super disrespectful. It's so mean, I would say. And
look at what Midoriya has to look at. Like, he looked at all his homies dead, but like, look at this Shigaraki in front of him. He's just like, what? What is this life? I wonder if he ever like takes a moment to think about
how weird his life is.
Yeah, and how I don't mean this like I'm not taking the shot, but like how fast things have progressed. You know what I'm saying?
He's like,
even Shigaraki, he looked completely different the last time you seen him. He's like, what is that?
Yeah, he's just like, this all escalated quickly again.
Again, yeah.
So yeah, he starts raging out, like he did in the first war, and that's when Shigaraki's like, when you stoke one's anger, his move gets pathetically simplistic. So he still continues to talk his shit. He's like, I admit it, you left the present, I got you right. Mirio pulls up and is like just trying to talk him through. He's talking about like, I get it, you're fucking sad, but you gotta stop. You're gonna fall into his trap again. It's okay. Tamaki and them are still kicking. And right now, Edgeshot is trying to save Bakugo's life. Nobody's giving up. And Shigaraki's like, endless sanctimony, the empty talk. All to avoid facing facts and reality and logic. Why don't you use your logic, bro?
That's definitely awful one.
Yeah.
I missed the video game talk from Shigaraki.
Yeah. So Deku starts to calm down. He starts to take all this in. And it's kind of nice. He's just like, all right, I'm calm now. And he apologized to the Lemillion. He says, sorry about that, Lemillion. He says, save your stars until after we win this, hero. He does the nose thing. And we end on the splash page of Midoriya using all of the All For One, a one for all vestiges behind him, and he's got this cool pose going, and he says, is Shigaraki still in there? And that's where the chapter ends. Shortest chapter. I mean, actually kind of a longer chapter than we've gotten in a while. This is actually a standard chapter, 18 pages.
Well, if you take away the 2 color pages.
Well, the 2 color pages technically count as 1, right? Or am I bugging?
Oh, maybe.
Am I bugging on it? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
No, because then that white blank page of My Hero Academia is already 2.
That's
when
true.
we start the page, it's on 3.
All right, well, fuck me then, okay? How about that?
It's not your fault.
Could be.
Not your fault, Chris.
All right. Well, let's do this. Josh, what did you think about My Hero Academia chapter 368?
I was immediately perturbed by the color
67.
by the color picture.
Mm-hmm.
I had to call Christian prior to the podcast. I remember I was in the bathroom, and I was just like, "Yo, like, why am I so angry at this picture? I had some time to really think about it, and I think it's because I really want to enjoy the picture. Looking at all these characters together, it's like a random mix of it's got some of the mainstays, except for the Kaminari. He's kind of random. He's like the most random one out of all of them. But I thought it is like actually a nice picture that's very homey and familiar, but it just makes me sad because I feel like this is about to end and we're not getting anything else but this fight. So it just, I think that's what it was. It just kind of bothered me, and I guess that's why I had little patience for Horikoshi's antics of trying to give proof to the fact that the American jet fighters were around by circling this small pebble. I believe that it's a jet. You guys believe it's a jet. But could it pass in the court of law?
Well, who
I don't think
could actually care though? Like, I didn't even notice that you are this little panel here was just for you, Josh. Horikoshi was like, "Fuck this dude, Josh. He's gonna see this, and I want him to boil his fucking blood." Because you are the only person I feel like in the entire world that is upset about this little panel.
It can't just be me, man.
It is you. It is just you,
can't just
Josh.
be me.
This
I've
was
accepted.
Horikoshi. This is Horikoshi coming for you, Josh. He
All right,
found your weakness.
How about we do this? On a scale of 1 to 10, how unnecessary was this proof? Yeah, I know how I'm feeling. Kind of on a heavy 10 on this one for me. What about you, Chris? Where are you leaning, Mr. Unbiased King?
On a level of unnecessary? I've never
Yes.
measured anything. I've never.
Well, today's your first day on the podcast.
I've never measured anything on a scale of unnecessary.
Oh, okay.
4? I don't think it was that crazy.
All right, how about this? On a scale of 1 to 10, how not important is it to be this upset about this on a scale of 1 to 10? Because I say that's a 10. I think this is a
objectively
10.
or subjectively?
Both. I feel like there's no point in
Subjectively,
being
I'd
upset
say a 1.
There's no point in being upset about something so
Objectively?
small. It's literally just one single panel in the corner of this page. Like,
I'll tell you what.
You choose the weirdest things to be upset
I
about.
was,
with
I
my
was
hero,
mad,
dude.
bro. I was tight.
So
I was
weird.
tight. What the fuck do
read-
you want me to say, Brian?
I'll tell you what. I read this chapter. I read past that page. Didn't think about it a second time.
Exactly. Josh, every time you get upset at My Hero Academia, it's for the weirdest shit sometimes. You'd be like, "Oh, fucking, did you see what fucking Deku was wearing, bro?
It's
Did
the
you see him
principle,
with that
man.
fucking
It's the
scarf of
principle.
his?"
It was raggedy and dirty. Yo, I just wanted him to have his own shit, all right? I
Like,
didn't want him to be
Horikoshi could do
filthy.
something actually
Yeah.
terrible in a chapter, but you would get upset at like the smallest other thing that did not deserve to be upset at.
Brian, this was actually terrible.
Terrible. Terrible. Terrible?
I wonder what the original translation was to reach history's nastiest villain and kick his butt. I wish they said something a lot cooler than that.
Well, they don't tend to curse on the official releases, unfortunately. So the scanlators probably did something a little more. But yeah, I don't know. What else did you have? What else did you think about this chapter, Josh?
I thought it was genuinely hilarious and lifted my spirits a little bit as I read this again and noticed that he was thinking those thoughts of fear of the glowing of Midoriya's glowing body as he was bouncing. You know what I'm saying? So sure, he got rocked to a couple blocks down and stuff, but he had the time to think about it. You know, that's fear. That's fear.
Yeah.
Shigaraki, he's all for one. Whoever the fuck this weirdo is,
Looks like it's more
y'all know
all
what
for
time
one.
it is. He's about to get. Yeah, he's about. It's more all for one, Brian.
Yeah,
Is that what
Yeah,
you said?
it's more all for one at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need help, Josh. You need help. I said it for people who aren't watching the video. I said it's more all for one. Josh looked at it. I've never seen someone so heartbroken in my life.
I'll tell you what. Sometimes part of watching the video, you gotta subscribe to us on YouTube, guys, because part of the joy of watching this show is Josh's subtle faces that he makes.
He looked like
Josh will allow 10 seconds of dead air so that he can get a physical face. Tell his thoughts for him.
We all express ourselves differently.
That's true. Hey, I love it, to be honest. Keep
Brian
going.
does it through his Adidas beanie cap. I do it through facial expressions. You know?
Brian's Adidas beanie cap is what gives his emotions.
And his bedroom aesthetic.
my bedroom aesthetic.
So when you have the light off. Anyway.
Hold on, let me turn off the light.
No, don't do it, Brian.
Back to my actual thoughts on the chapter. My official, real, serious thoughts. So you said Midoriya went Super Saiyan like this last time in the first war? There we go.
Yeah. When
Brian is now in the darkness.
Yeah, you know, the first time Bakugo sacrificed himself for the greater good, Midoriya went
first time
ape
he
shit.
died.
Yeah.
The first time he narratively died, because that's what he did narratively.
Well, you know, it's funny. It is funny that they repeated that same exact thing happening to Bakugo in this. But go on.
You say funny? That's the word you chose.
Interesting. Interesting, funny, you know, however you want to describe it. You go on, Josh. You finish your thoughts.
I'm the ultimate hater, all right? I said it. And I hated so hard my phone dropped.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. I'll relax. Because I thought it was actually really funny that the Midoriya had the black whip in his mouth, like gagging him. I was like, oh, okay. What's up, Horikoshi? What you trying to tell us with Midoriya? But it looked kind of crazy. And I thought he was about to start raging again. I didn't think he was going to get his spine broken by this guy, by All For One / Shigaraki. So I was expecting him to go berserk. Then Lemillion came out of nowhere. So I think this was also another one of those scenes that probably could have hit a little bit harder. But I still appreciated it regardless. I don't really have anything critical to say about it. I thought, yeah, it makes sense that, you know, he doesn't have to throw punches and make his body intangible through Shigaraki's to end the fight now. You know what I'm saying? What he can do. You know what's crazy? It didn't start off as being like a backhanded compliment, but then I started thinking about it like, why can't he make himself intangible through Shigaraki's head or something? Is that not enough? Would that not kill him?
What do you mean? Like punch through Shigaraki's, like go through Shigaraki's head and then get solid again?
And then, yeah. Like, sure, maybe Lemillion would also have a grave injury in the process, but that's the type of sacrifice you make, right?
I guess.
For the world?
In theory, he could do that. I guess.
I'm actually genuinely curious that maybe there's something about his ability that he can't, or he just won't because he won't kill him. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, maybe it's more that.
I guess he won't kill him. That's fine and fair. I really don't have an issue with that. So it would be Lemillion to talk him out of it, and then, you know, like how Deku got straight to the point and was just like, all right, before I unleash everything on you, and I mean everything, because I got these goons in the back, and they've been showing me some stuff. Is Shigaraki still in there? I hope the next chapter opens with him in his weirdo stance, and he's like, hey, yo.
No.
And Midoriya just starts fucking him up. That'd be really cool.
That would be really funny.
Really cool.
I would honestly like that as well. If he was like,
That lifts my spirits.
no.
Foolish boy.
Just one big word bubble for one word, and that's no. Just No, it's small. The word no is like regular font. It's like, yeah.
But a big,
Like fine print.
Yeah.
yeah,
No. And then Midoriya fucks him up.
cuts him up and forces him to his new form.
Yeah.
Or whatever bullshit is up in this guy's sleeve.
Oh, you know there's a new form waiting.
Oh yeah. And then Bakugo's gonna revive when Midoriya's on the ropes or something. Because Midoriya didn't want to kill Shigaraki. Shigaraki's gonna be like, the boy's gonna come out and be like, wait, don't punch my
Oh.
face in.
You know that boy's gonna come out and be like, "Meh."
No.
Alright. I don't want to roast My Hero Academia anymore.
All
Brian,
right.
what did you think about this chapter? Oh, I'm sorry, Josh. Did you have any?
No, that's it. As much shit as I had to say, I like the direct. I'm ready for Midoriya to punch this guy's head in, especially since One Piece is off next week. My Hero can carry a lot of weight if it wants to, I guess.
Yeah.
It
All right.
feels like it.
Brian, what did you think?
I thought this chapter was actually pretty decent. It was nice to see Lemillion has been kind of like the heart of the battle so far, which is pretty fitting for his character at this point. Like, he's the guy who's been kind of holding everybody together at this point. Like, he's
the glue.
He's been like the ultimate support.
I disagree. I'm sorry, I'm talking through you. Speak.
No, it's fine. What do you disagree with?
I think the real MVP, the real glue to all of this has been the copycat kid.
That's true.
Without him, none of this, nothing would work. Midoriya would probably lose this fight if it wasn't for him.
Yeah,
I agree, but like I'm more so like with what's going on so far. Like overall, I'd say what was his name? Fucking Mineta? No.
Mineta's the other guy. No, Mineta's the grape juice kid.
Fucking forgot this guy's name.
Damn. Monoma,
there you go. Monoma overall is of course like the MVP. He's been tearing it up lately. Like, he has been an important, crucial piece to things for a while now. Like, people bring him in to like be like a quirk expert. Like, I really love Monoma, but so far during the battle, Mirio has been the person to kind of change the tide or to like keep people straight. Like, always setting people up for success. Like, he has, and him calming down Deku in this chapter as well. He's really finding his place right now, and that's what's pretty good because he's always felt kind of lost. And honestly, I feel like if Mirio was all for one here, was one for all here, I don't know if Shigaraki can beat him, to be honest. I just don't think he can. Because if he had like All Might strength, this fight would be a lot more like hero sided, in my opinion. But that's neither here nor there. And I think and I really love the final page. The final page with Deku kind of in his crybaby face with all his predecessors behind him. That was a pretty sick panel. These like last pages for My Hero lately have been really fucking good. And I like what he's trying to convey with like the emotion on their faces and shit too. Like, Banjo looks fucking sick. He's like, "Yo, I'm coming back for you, bitch. You thought I wouldn't come back, motherfucker, but I'm here." Like, they just all look so fucking cool, and I'm excited to see what the second One for All's quirk is
first.
too.
Oh, well, technically, I guess second, because the first one is the little brother guy.
Yeah, he's second. But yeah, that's all I have to say about My Hero. Is a decent chapter. I'm excited to see what happens next.
Oh, right. Well, I guess I'll go into my thoughts. I thought this chapter was also pretty decent. Nothing overly crazy. It's nothing I didn't see coming. I feel like this is like a thing in manga. You know, like the hero gets there, sees all the carnage, and then loses his mind a little bit. We've all been there. Luffy just had that moment, but didn't lose his mind. But you know, with that Kinemon thing, they all had that Goku in the Saiyan Saga moment where they come in on the Nimbus cloud and they're like, "My friends, they've all been defeated." So I guess that was this moment for My Hero Academia. I like that he immediately smacked Shigaraki. Pretty cool. I guess using Fajin's power and having Shigaraki actually be a little worried is kind of cool in the moment. The jet stuff didn't bother me all that much, I guess, but I get what Josh is saying to a degree, where I'm like, well, it goes to show like the whole explanation thing to begin with is like, well, I could have surmised that he took the jets here. It would have been fine. The whole flashback in general was just like fine. I'm not all that invested in the jet people to give them that big of a dog in the fight. I get why they're there. They're there to avenge Star and Stripe. That's fine with me. I don't know. I guess like you could argue it's unnecessary. So, but I wasn't all that torn up about it. I feel like this is a thing that makes sense to explain. But I could have surmised it in general. We saw the jets in the last chapter, and we could be like, "Oh, he came here on the jets. We don't need to go crazy about it." But yeah, the art's still great. I like that Lemillion had a hand in like calming him down, being the Katara in that sense when Aang was going to the Avatar state for the first time. I appreciated that, you know, because I guess that is a little cliche as well for Deku to just like lose control and beat on Shigaraki for a minute before he gets his shit together. So I'm fine with it. Next chapter, I guess the final battle begins, and that's exciting. No breaks for My Hero Academia this week, so I'm expecting it to do well next week in our terms. I feel like this is like a chapter that needed to happen, and a chapter we've a little bit read 1,000 times in different series, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I do like the little respect they gave to Monoma, showing him again, still working, still like fucking using Aizawa's quirk to slow down Shigaraki, and the fact that nobody's given up yet. Even Best Genius in that one panel, even though he's like fucking, he can't walk anymore, you see him activating his quirk and trying to use it in any way, shape, or form.
And you could tell, like, it was
yeah,
it looked faint. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Even the strands looked faint. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wilting.
See him trying.
You know, there's these cool moments in here. So I thought it was okay. So nothing crazy, just a shonen chapter. You know, we get these sometimes. A very shonen chapter. But that's all I got to say about it. Any rebuttals? Anything else to say?
Brian?
Nope.
Okay, I'm not gonna go on a long spiel. I had this thought in my head, really this dream that like, if maybe during the mini time skip when Midoriya was out on his own, you know what I'm saying? I would have really liked if we got like an arc. You know how they did the My Villain Academia?
Mm-hmm.
It would have been really cool if they did an arc like that for class 1B. And it didn't have to be long and drawn out, but it could have set it around Monoma and a few of the key like 1B characters doing something, like seeing the state of the land and dealing with infernal villains. There would have been a reason for them to be out there doing stuff and us seeing them and seeing how they've grown or what they're working on. And I thought about all of this because with Monoma specifically, right? He's, in my mind, you know, he have copy abilities are some of the coolest because there's a lot of how do you put it, mind games with it when you're fighting against somebody with their own ability. To be able to beat them with it, you had to really, you know, think it through. You can't just run into them, you know, with their own shit. They're gonna, you know, they're comfortable with it. They know how to use it better than you, et cetera, et cetera. So Monoma, anybody with that type of ability is really interesting to me anyway. So like when I think about Monoma, it would have been nice if like part of his character arc during that, you know, supposed 1B arc would be like him struggling Like with him, like, having such a great quirk, but his main struggle maybe being stamina and endurance, right? And that maybe not working as hard enough because he talks too much shit or something like that. And this moment for him being there with Aizawa, truly being the MVP, would have been that without him having a fight, it would have been that sign of growth, that's paid off from him in that arc before, because he's been holding it down this entire time and having to watch his comrades die. Ain't nothing funny or slick or sarcastic about that. This is a big deal for Monoma, and it's. I hope what I'm saying kind of articulates my feelings towards the series of just in my opinion, of wasted potential. That's what it kind of comes down to. Is that I've seen a lot for these characters that just didn't go down the way I thought. Sorry, I don't mean to rehash these thoughts again and again, but I thought I just wanted to get my thought on that.
Yeah.
Still proud of Monoma. Still proud of him.
Definitely.
Could have been deeper though.
Definitely. All right. Well, with that being said, I suppose we should move onward. Jujutsu Kaisen. And now I'm going to throw it over to Jausha.
Okay. One moment. Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 198. Sakurajima Colony, part
8.
Thank you. Okay. Last week. Did we not have Jujutsu Kaisen last week?
I believe it was
right?
off last week. Yeah.
It was off last week. So,
but...
this is a couple weeks ago, actually. Couple weeks ago, Maki learned to free herself and unlocked true heavenly restriction, and it was ready to beat the shit out of her brother, turned curse spirit Naoya. That's pretty much it. Yeah, right. Pretty much what happened last time.
That and Naoya.
Oh no! Oh yeah. And Naoya in a seething, in a fit, in a fucking tantrum, you may call it. He emerges into a new, out of his chrysalis form, which I totally called, into his actual Naoya looking form, humanoid Naoya looking form, at least half of him, and opened his domain. Ho, that shit was crazy. Okay, so now we start, and we have your boy Naoya opening up his domain expansion, Time Cell Moon Palace. Oh my god, that sounds so fucking cool, and this looks so goddamn creepy.
Yeah, it's real gross.
Yeah. It's just an eyeball and others. Ew, what is that hanging? What, whatever. It's just you gotta see it, guys. It's gross.
It's just weird flesh mounds.
Yes. It looks like a turkey drumstick on the left side with just
like a chewed up turkey drumstick.
Did I mention? Yeah. Yeah, it's really nasty, guys. Like with the bottom bone, like if someone just chewed the bottom bone.
Yeah, right.
Put it down. And that was all they wanted to do, is chew the bottom piece of the turkey leg and then put that shit back on a plate.
Right.
That's what it looks like. Okay, so yeah, the eyeball I mentioned pierces its gaze into the two ancient swordsmen. How I forget their names. See, 2 weeks is a long time.
Dido.
And Dido.
And there you go.
There we go. So yeah, as the eyeball looks at Dido and Mio, they get hit with what looks like film reels to the back of their neck. I thought they died as soon as that happened, honestly. But it's just a part of Naoya's technique. But they was like, oh, did something happen? They were seemingly unfazed, so they was like, whatever, let's kill them. And as soon as they charge forward, they start breaking down from what turns out to be at the cellular level. So check this out, guys. Naoya's refurbished, upgraded, whatever you want to call it, curse technique. It's a domain expansion. Makes it so that anyone he touches has to move like him, or they freeze up. Right? Oh no, that was his original curse technique. Okay, in this domain, It seems the technique's target is even more precise. It can even target individual cells. If you try to move, they might get out of whack. Okay, so basically, yeah, he's freezing their cells in place. So when they move, their body's literally breaking down from the inside at an atomic level. Is that no? I don't think that's an atomic level, right?
I guess.
Cells?
Yeah. I mean, cells are really small. You could say atomic level. Really, we're not scientists here.
So whatever.
We
Correct
can
us
say
in
whatever
the
we want.
comments.
We're not scientists here.
Yeah. And if you're gonna correct us in the comments, why don't you leave a like?
Yeah, hey,
And then you could also subscribe and then share it to your
okay.
homeboys that like
So
listening.
I guess
the
you could
homegirls,
say
anybody.
you could say on a cellular level, as opposed to an atomic level.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
But once again, we're
The
not
linguist.
scientists.
Sure. Yeah, so it attacks them on a cellular level. Wow. That's dangerous. Mio drops immediately. His sumo's not enough for this. But Dio's just got a tad bit more gangster in him, as we've seen earlier. So he's still up and pumping. And he gets chopped up into his arm gets chopped up into pieces for his efforts. Not by Naoya, but by his own cells not moving along with his arm. So he tore his own arm off to be a thug. Let's take that in for a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty gangster. Anyway, Naoya gets stabbed in his chest. Yep, surprised? Me too. I was very surprised, but we get a little explanation as to what just happened. So, all right, basically, that was Maki that chopped him from the back, and he couldn't tell where Maki was at because she wasn't caught up in the domain because she has no cursed energy. So she got rejected. They even go to say that the barrier technique treated her as a building.
Yeah.
Like as an object. That's I don't know. Do you have a good explanation for that, Chris? You wanna
I think what they
yeah,
mean
something?
they mean that because Maki doesn't have any cursed energy, that the domain doesn't even register her as a target.
Yeah, it pushed her out if she was inside. Like was she able to get caught up in that before? In the past?
I don't know. I think so. Yeah, she was definitely trapped in a domain before. But I don't know.
So she couldn't get out because she had no because she was inside.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
She got rejected in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta look back because that when she got trapped in a domain was during the Shibuya arc, when she was fighting with her dad. So, not her dad, but I guess like the head of the Zenin clan.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure if that was her dad. Her dad was the other.
He's definitely a hater.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, so I'll just read it for you guys. So they say like Toji, which was Megumi's dad, the Mr. Heavenly Restriction, fuck Gojo up himself. Naoya must use an actual alright, he says like Toji, Maki doesn't have any cursed energy, so barrier techniques shoot as a building. Naoya must use an actual structure as the barrier's exterior, like Fushiguro did in Tokyo Kali #1. I kind of think I remember what he's talking about, how he used the gym, but what they're trying to explain is that that spear he created is just a solid object. It's a structure. He had to create a structure to contain his barrier. It still takes place in real space. It's infinite inside, I guess. The area looks completely different, but it still takes up an actual physical space.
What I remember when they're referencing Fushiguro, what he did, it's like you said, he used the gym itself as a basis for his domain. So the gym, like the domain didn't treat the gym as just like, it didn't phase it out. It made it part of the domain. So, he made the space his domain as opposed to just like creating a space creating the domain within a space. You know what I mean?
Right. No, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Not how Naoya was able to do it. I guess he wasn't good enough with his domain yet to be able to do it on his own.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't know that this would be even a thing. Like he would not.
Well, anyway,
he thought that he would have caught Maki anyway.
Oh well, yeah, Naoya did. But he didn't realize. See, this is what I didn't really understand. All right, I guess well, yeah. She said Naoya must use an actual. Okay, but unless she consents, he can't trap her inside the domain. That's weird because the other guys didn't consent. Is it because they have cursed energy?
Yeah, well, Dido probably in some way consented. I don't know.
Oh yes, they did. They say. Let me see. They get caught. No, they get caught with the technique because they both say to themselves, "It's do or die time. It's time to attack." I thought that was them accepting the terms, but no, they got hit.
Yeah.
They got trapped inside already. Yeah, the language of it is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Hopefully, someone could break that down in the comments. I don't know if
Yeah. We'll see.
in my mind, I see it as she got rejected from it because she holds no Kush energy, but so Dido should have as well. Really,
Okay, so here's the way I can see it. I think what brought Dido what made Dido a consenting party in the domain was the blade that he had, because that has cursed energy. So as long as he was holding it, he could be dragged into a domain. And the reason Maki was dragged into the domain back in Shibuya was that she was also using a cursed tool of some sort. So maybe that is the factor that decides, is that if you have something on you that is cursed, you're dragged in, regardless of whether you yourself have it. So as long as you're holding the blade itself, because that's the only difference between him and Maki. He also doesn't have cursed energy. So the only difference is that he had the sword and Maki didn't.
Right, that had to be it. Because as I looked along further, they all they say is that the barrier couldn't recognize Maki because she had no cursed energy.
Yeah.
So and the only difference between her and Dido, as far as we understand, is that she had the sword that has some cursed energy in it.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Oh God.
All right.
Well,
all right.
If you know the truth, let us know in the comments, please, because I feel like that's my biggest theory here, is that the reason that Maki was not in the domain is because she didn't have a cursed object that forced her to be part of the game, as be part of the domain, as opposed to Dido, who did. But go on, Josh.
Well, she stabs him in the back. She makes it through the barrier because she is her. And he, Naya's like, man, whatever. You didn't kill me with this blow. So, like, I got you trapped in my domain. Like, that's it. You can't move. I'm about to turn into this nasty monster and I guess bite her head off or something.
Yeah.
He was going to do something. He had his arms coming for it too.
Yeah.
Nasty. And then I guess Maki just kind of flips the sword upwards because it was already buried in his chest. And then throws it right behind her back like Link. Nice. And he says, "What? That's wrong. Incorrect. This scene is wrong." Cut. Then he says, "Why? The domain's guaranteed. Oh, because the domain's guaranteed hit couldn't recognize Maki because she had no curse energy." Okay. Well, it hit Dido. I guess he has cursed energy. What else can we say at this point?
Does that mean so if Akari put her in a does that mean that like old school domain expansions are better against her than the new age ones?
Well,
like
she consented.
Guaranteed hit ones are gonna not be as effective, right?
Well, Mio, she consented to entering the domain, so there's that. But I don't know. I guess let's close out this chapter first, and then we'll get into it.
Right. Okay, so if it didn't make it clear, she splits his fucking head in half, and he's dead. His barrier bursts. Maki walks out as an equal to Toji Zenin.
And that's where the chapter really ends.
That is where the chapter ends.
Yeah.
Christian! Oh, no. Yeah. Christian. What are your thoughts?
This was pretty much my runner-up this week. I'll tell you what. I feel like these rules are... It's tough to interpret them sometimes. Just because there's so many of them. And we're still learning about this power system as we continue on this series. So I feel like with Jujutsu Kaisen, I always feel like I'm putting pieces together, which can be fun sometimes. I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen's power system is very fun to like really think about, and is very unique and fun power system to dissect in a lot of different ways, but it feels weird that so many things are still being established further onward. I feel like this is one of the ones where it almost kind of worked against it. I really like this chapter, and I always like the explanation of the rules, but if I couldn't put it together, I probably would have been a little frustrated because it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Sometimes it feels like sometimes it feels like Akutami is kind of like talking to himself, you know? It's like he's
trying to make it make sense to himself,
Right.
act retroactively.
Well, I
It's
think
like,
I think it's actually one of those things, you know, when something makes sense to you and you're desperately trying to explain it to other people. You know, like
Yeah.
trying to find the right words to really like get it. That's how it feels to me, which, you know, it's not the worst thing because for what this is, he does, for the most part, a really good job of doing it. I feel like the rules are sound. I didn't think that this was like an ass pull, but there's, I guess, little, not inconsistencies, but things that could come off as inconsistencies because of how he explains certain things. Like Daido and Maki not being affected and not being affected in respectively by the domain thing is kind of confusing, and I'm wondering if that's also just the sword thing too. Is that Daido is also affected because he has the sword, and if he doesn't have the sword, he wouldn't be affected. That's my
but she had the sword as she came in.
exactly. So you know, that's the rough part. That's where we don't understand. Well, maybe, you know, it's not a guaranteed hit, but it can hit her. I don't know.
It said it couldn't recognize her at all. I mean, just it couldn't recognize her. Meaning, this is interesting, man.
Yeah, it's
I have faith that he's going to break it down a little bit further or something.
I would hope so, but right now that's, I guess, my only kind of issue with Jujutsu Kaisen is that I feel like Akutami can be a little clearer in his explanation of the power system, because this has happened before where we're like, what? What is this? What are you talking about? So, you know, it might be a nitpick, and you know us, we love Jujutsu Kaisen.
No, but he does get up his own ass.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
There is this one moment.
Relax, my guy.
Yeah, there is this one moment where she talks to Mai again, and we get a little explanation of the blade that Mai actually left behind and transformed into and she turned into a replica of Toji's old sword, which is the split soul katana. So basically, it can bypass the toughness of many substances that to cut the soul. However, exerting that power fully requires eyes that can observe even the souls of inorganic matter. And I'm like, okay, cool. I guess what they're saying is that he's able to cut cursed spirits this way, or she is. Sorry. But I don't know, bro. That's the only thing, and that's I thought the little moment with Mai and Maki was cool because this was just Mai being like, I this is what I've been trying to teach you, and Mai knows this better than anybody about Maki always comparing herself to other people and having this hang up about how other people view her. So it was cool that she, you know, this was her consciously kind of teaching her a lesson here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess on a character front, that's all I got to say. The rest was about the power system and the fight in general. Naoya's probably dead for real. I wouldn't be surprised if he had one more form at the end of this. But yeah, it was a good chapter. I hope Mio's okay. Oh, he is okay. He's up. But yeah, I'm excited to see what comes of Daido in the future, and he's probably every time like these characters beat somebody or win a fight in their colony, they seem to gain an ally of some sort. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these different characters play into the overall story. So, but those are all my thoughts. Josh, Brian, sorry. What did you think about this chapter, Brian?
You know, another classic Jujutsu Kaisen chapter. You know, the action was sick, the, you know, over explanations, but I don't really mind it. I didn't really mind it all that much. This chapter was pretty interesting when it came to the fact that we got to see more of Maki's evolution as a character, you know? And that's all I really enjoy. I think it was extremely interesting that they claimed that she's on the same level as Toji now, which is absolutely fucking nuts because Toji fucked up Gojo. So if she's on that level, she is a massive threat to anybody living right now. Like she's absolutely fucking nuts. So having someone on that level on your side has to be extremely comforting.
Remember those guys? Oh, sorry, Brian.
No, it's all good.
This is somewhat relevant. Do you remember when Toji came back during the Shibuya arc?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he
And he got summoned by those people, and then he just ended up like taking over, like the summon,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Madara did with the Ito Tensei. Now that I think about it,
Mm-hmm.
but he came back and he ran into Megumi and did something else. Do y'all remember what it was he did?
No.
Like what? He didn't lose to Megumi. I know that. Okay, well, sorry,
I don't
Brian.
remember. I don't recall. But no, it's fine. I'm just I really want to see what more Maki can do because it seems like she's unlocked like a new level to this shit that we haven't seen before. Or maybe we've only seen like a hint of it. But those are all my thoughts.
Josh, what did you think?
I really liked this chapter. One Piece was really amazing, and you know, My Hero was good too. It just annoyed me a little too much. So this was definitely the runner-up. I love this guy's art. What can I say? I like the creatures when they turn into nasty, like creepy, ghouls or whatever you want to call them. And then watching their heads get split in half is very satisfying. I don't know why. It looks like a titan. That's what it is. It looks like a titan getting his head split in half.
Yeah,
I can appreciate that.
definitely.
Cool stuff. So Naoya did not go out like a gangsta at all. He did have a pretty cool domain and all that, but it was just too weird. And it was tainted by the fact that Daido was still able to move and stuff while Maki could. Maybe it has a lot more to do with heavenly restriction than that. Maybe because Daido's not a full heavenly restriction user.
Yeah,
He's
maybe.
just got enough swag with the sword.
Yeah.
Sword.
Support.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe he has a little
Yeah.
bit. I don't know.
Shit, he had enough swag to throw that sword to Maki through the barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, did y'all notice that panel? She has her hands going through the barrier. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is
That
that what
was
that
sword.
was?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it took me a little while to notice. I mean, I'm still guessing, but that has to be it. You see the sword still floating in the air. Poor Daido lost his sword swinging arm. That sucks. His left arm. Wow,
Yeah.
really rough.
He's alive,
Yeah,
though.
Really rough.
everybody. There's a lot of characters who just lose arms in this series.
It's really tough, man.
I wonder if there's a way to like recover that shit.
Maybe.
Recovery jutsu.
I just want to know what Toto's up to.
Oh, reverse curse technique.
Why is Toto not in this arc, dude?
Because he has no hands.
So
Yeah,
Anyway.
I'm telling you, they're gonna give him something.
Yeah.
They're gonna give him an Advil.
An Advil that cures your hands?
Yeah. Or Tylenol extra strength, and just tell him get out there and figure it out.
Well, all right. Well, is that
Maybe
everything?
he gets smacked at the side of his body, like that,
Oh, maybe he could just like clap his body
like that. Like he beat on his spot,
with
or
his
clap
stomp.
somebody else's hand.
With what? With his stomp?
Oh, has he ever did that? With
Didn't he
somebody
lose-
else's hand?
He lost both his hands.
Oh, he lost both his hands?
I think so, right? Toto lost
No,
both.
I thought it was only one.
Oh. Well, yeah, then maybe all he has to do is like slap his chest and he's good.
How did he lose his hand again to Shigaraki?
No,
He touched
to
him, so he had to
Mahito.
chop it off.
Shigaraki?
Mahito. They look similar.
Mahito. Yeah, they do look
They
similar.
have a similar vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost it in that fight. I know. Anyway, are we good to move on?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm ready.
Let's go. Undead Unluck. This is Undead Unluck
Okay.
chapter 128. Oh, did you want to do it?
Yeah. I'm prepared to cover
You
it.
sure? Because I got
Yes.
it. All right, go for it.
All right. Yeah, it sounds like you was raring to go, though. You want to cover Undead Unluck, huh? Well, guess what?
I thought I was
mine,
doing
Chris.
it. Yeah, go for
Well,
it.
guess what? It's mine.
All right, go for
Got
it.
the number Undead Unluck, chapter 128. Strict defense. Yo, these niggas go off this chapter. I actually kind of forgot.
Yeah.
But they did go off. All right, anyway. We'll get to it. So last week we had God appear on the scene, and Luna, the moon spirit, let us know that they were also God, and that they're playing a game together. Also, Chikara got his arm blown off. He tried really hard. That's all you need to really know.
Mm-hmm.
Tried hard. And yeah, so we get back to Fuko having her conversation with Luna, and she's talking about how, look, y'all see the screen? This is what's happening to your friends. You guys like to watch this kind of stuff, right? I remember Juiz always did. Well, anyway, after that, yeah, like, I don't think she's being mean. I think she's just inappropriate, but doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Like, this is good. Yes, this is what you'd like to watch.
Yeah, you guys like
Your
this?
friends die against the sun. Okay. Yeah. Well, anyways, so yeah, this is a game. We want to see who's right and who's wrong. I think I'm right. I think humans are dope, and that you guys can reach us. I guess get to a level of a god in such a way.
Mm-hmm.
Or can the sun god's rules via Umas and other asshole things he does, is that gonna reach God? I guess the Umas? Is that what they're trying to say, Chris?
Yes.
And Brian? Brian, I know you don't really read this, but like, is that what's being implied? An Uma's gonna reach God?
Yeah.
Luna?
Yeah. The world lives everything which we create.
Maybe. Oh, I think it's to imply that the humans don't win
Yeah.
because of the restrictions of the rules.
Mm-hmm.
He sets rules, and she makes people and artifacts
Yes.
to help deal with God shenanigans. Wow, this is a lot. So, I didn't notice this before, but no, okay. I thought Luna had its arms up in like an arch, but that's,
she's
I guess,
just like this all the time.
like woo.
Woo! I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, because it looked in the other picture like as Fuko is screaming for Chikara because she noticed his arm get blown off. It looks like the Luna is throwing its hands up like, yeah, Chikara, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
bad. My bad. Because she's on the people's side. She doesn't know. It
Yeah.
doesn't know. I keep saying she. It appears feminine. That doesn't make sense. I'm gonna stop right there. So as she as Fuko confirms. Anyway, as she God up the words. Chikara, I didn't mean it that way. Chikara, she's screaming for Chikara, and Luna is like, "Let's watch your friends die," literally. So we get back to Andy and Juiz as they're cradling Chikara. So it's crazy because Juiz is like, "There's no time to grieve," and I'm like, "Oh no, he died already! No, not Chikara, right?"
Yeah.
But he's alive and he's still ready to fight too. Which is pretty gangster. You get points for that, my G.
Let's go, Chikara.
Get points for that, son.
I'm gonna give you one of these, Chikara.
Right, respect. But he's on his way out. To be clear, yeah. Juiz is like, all right, we need Unluck to beat this guy because this is some bullshit. And Andy go ahead and proves exactly what I said, that all you guys contested for sure, and was like, nah, it didn't mean nothing. And I'm making this all up, but I did call that fact that I did that the Unluck is gonna matter.
Yeah.
I just didn't think it'd pay off so soon, but it didn't. As I continue, we see apparently Juiz coordinated this like super negator attack against God, which is lit. That's what I was like. Yeah, let's negate him. You know what I'm saying? Why not use his own negate rules against? Because God made the negate, not Luna. Luna made the people, but she didn't make the negations. That's God that ruined
No, she
it. Life.
created artifacts, and I guess they both created folks. Like they've both created people, and because she doesn't say she created people, she says she bet on them. She only says
She bet on people and created artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
But the artifacts don't give you negation abilities.
No, but I don't know who gives them the negations really.
Well, like I said, they're trying. So we learned a few things here in this chapter. Okay, so we got Unburn and what I learned to be Unback. That's why her nickname was Bax in that Wikipedia page. More on that in a second. So she turns into this big blanket, like her back, or part of her pajamas. Her pajamas extend and create this like blanket over the back of God's head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like like a towel over his head or something. And then the Undrawn pulls up, and she's like, "I'm gonna make sure you can't draw your foot from the fucking earth. Haha.
Aha.
You can't pick your foot up. You shouldn't have been so heavy, dickhead. Who told you to do that? You played right into my trap."
You activated my trap card.
I was like, all right, yeah, undraw. Maybe you should have make it so that he can't undraw no fire blast from the back of his fucking head anymore. But whatevs. I guess they have other plans. So then Juiz starts talking to Undercrease, and he's like, "I won't use this big fucking gun you got until you tell me it's mine." And she said it in the most official way possible to boost his ego to the maximum. She really is a team player. She's a true captain of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that. I really do mean that. And it's kind of crazy because as we get to this point, there's still 9 seconds left.
Yep. Oh, 9 minutes.
9 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh my God. But still. There's still 9 whole minutes left. This whole sequence was just seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
Well, it was a minute and change. Because they had 11 minutes. They're at 9.
Well, like I said, Undercrease starts to load up this gun, this huge berserker blaster that, I guess he's going to make sure it never runs out of ammo. That sounds so cool, actually. Shen pulls up on the Nimbus Cloud that also assists Kakarot now and then. And then he picks up Andy and tosses him. He's like, go get him! Go get God! Show him what you're made of, right? And Andy's like, I ain't letting you go no further. And the son doesn't say anything to him. Like, I don't know if it could talk, actually. It hasn't said words.
Yeah, it has not said words.
Yeah, I hope it could talk. That'd be nice.
It would be.
But Andy's talking the most shit to him. He's like, "Yeah, I got you now." You can see the cannon loading up in the horizon. That's kind of crazy. I didn't notice that in the past when I read it. But yep. So God is literally in the row of this berserker cannon, and I'm sorry. This is the moment that rivals My Hero Academia. As he gets blasted from what looks like a whole nother city. Shigaraki got hit on that same island. This nigga got launched from like this was a continental barrage, a national attack. Like this is some Cuban Missile Crisis shit. You feel me? And it's unlimited, undecreased.
Yeah.
So Andy gets blasted by it and runs into the sun in the most dramatic fashion. And you know the bunny thing is the bunny girl Unback is trying to hold it down as Unburn is making sure she doesn't get burnt. Excuse me, guys. Unmove is holding down tight. God is getting blasted. The sun god is getting blasted multiple times, and eventually it I guess it runs out of juice and gets overheated. They mentioned that even with Unbreakable and Undecreasing working together, the internal cooling system ain't able to keep up. I guess they should have had Wait, they have an Unheat guy. They should have kept him there. Oh well.
Who had Unheat?
Whatever. This guy.
No, he has Unburn.
Oh, it's Unburn. He had to. Oh! Your boy gets me. Yoshifumi, he got me because right as I say that, Unback retracts into her regular form, and she starts to burn from all of the heat because he's unburned. He can negate burning, but he can't negate heat. So he wouldn't have been able to do anything for that gun anyway. Wow, that was crazy. I got corrected post, like he predicted the future.
Yeah, he knows that there's.
He knew.
He knows that there's a Josh out there reviewing his series. He's like, let me shut this guy up before he says anything.
Yeah, I gotta shut up. Can I even continue this manga? Would that be?
I believe you can.
In good taste.
I'll say this though, before we move on, this one panel of the bunny girl burning is haunting. Her face.
Yes.
It's like, God damn.
Oh my god, is she gonna die?
I don't know. Oh well, yes. Actually, they're all gonna die. That's the whole point of this.
Oh my god, she just died. She literally boiled in front of us.
Well, anyway, continue onward.
Yeah, that was horrible. You're right. That fucked me up too when I seen it.
It was like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. So because this is God and he's done with their foolish games, he lifts his foot up from the earth, and I guess his foot is still drawn into the earth, so he lifted the earth with him to walk around with it like a shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. It totally checks out. Andy is literally like a corner of his head, and I don't know if you guys remember from watching Yu-Gi-Oh! During the Dual City arc, when they was in a tournament, Joey was facing off against Marek, right? And he gave away like a lot of his life points, so he only had like a corner of his face left or something like that. Or maybe that was against Yugi. Dude, that's a pull.
It is a pretty deep pull, dude.
I want to look it up on the iPad, but whatever. Maybe I'll look it up while I'm giving thoughts. So, yeah, it's like I said, there's a corner of Andy's head, and he's like, "Wow, that wasn't enough." I guess that's why he's God.
God.
So he says, "All right, I'm gonna leave it to you." And Victor comes out, and he's like, "What's the status?" Juice is like, 8 minutes and 20 seconds left, Baka, because she's totally in love. Totes in love with him. She does good work. And, she's blushing like crazy under that helmet.
Well, that's neither here. We cannot deny or confirm that. We don't know.
She's a total simp for Victor. She put a fucking remember card in his head to preserve his life.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't suffer. That's real love.
Yeah.
They say, let's put it all on the line and use the sacred spirit gestures. Oh, shit. It's a sword and shield? That's pretty lit.
Pretty lit.
It's pretty cool. I like that. Not gonna lie. Reminds you of Zelda. Doesn't that make you fucking excited, Brian?
He's muted.
Obviously, extremely excited. Woohoo!
Hell yeah, it's like Zelda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
And
Brian. Well,
yeah,
never
that was
mind.
Undead Unluck for this week. To be continued.
Ooh,
Christian, what are your thoughts?
man, this was really cool. This was a really cool chapter, to be honest. To see all the negators like come together and do their thing. We finally get to see what Yusai's negation is. There's a lot of people we didn't know. Yusai being undraw, and the bunny girl is being unback. I'm like, all right, that's a weird one, but all right, I'll take it.
What does that mean?
I guess it means you can't go back. You can't like go backward.
Yes.
So that's interesting.
But what does that have to do with her character? Could she never go backwards or something?
Well,
Is that what it is?
That's one of the things is that we don't really know. It's kind of a bummer.
Maybe rabbits. Oh, rabbits can't back up, right?
I don't think so. Can rabbits back up?
Ryan, could you Google that? Could rabbits back up?
Can rabbits go backwards?
Yeah.
Brian? Oh, he's doing it. Anyway,
In the singularity.
he's in the he's communing with the singularity.
Becoming one.
No, it was cool to
He's
see.
finding
everyone.
his center and realigning.
And
his
rabbits,
chi.
what?
Can rabbits go backwards?
You remember how, like in Zoolander, he couldn't go left?
Although it's
Like, can
fairly
they just-
difficult, rabbits can walk backwards.
Really difficult. All right, well, that's
Well, all right.
maybe that's the reference. That it's,
Well, there you go.
It's rare to see them going
Hey,
backwards.
guess what, Josh?
Do they typically do that? Is there any more information?
A theory destroyed. Well,
Wait.
they did say it's fairly difficult, so they probably don't do it often.
difficult. Right.
But yeah, it was really cool to see everybody giving, all their efforts to this thing. It was cool to see Unburned do something coming out here looking like a full JoJo character. I respect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. The way that God just kind of like walked through it, just like I'm God, and he lifted his whole foot.
Yeah.
Very interesting. But yeah, we'll get to see Victor and Huis work together finally. It'll be pretty cool to see how that works out. But nothing crazy. I don't really have a whole ton to say. It was a big old action chapter where everybody showed out their stuff. So excited for the next one. Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
I thought it was really cool. A lot of action happened. We got to see some of these other negators showcase their abilities and, use them again from the past. I still don't remember who that female was.
Who?
But I didn't see, there was a female that was with Undecrease before.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
No, maybe what that was God in the background. No. I have no idea.
Yeah.
What that situation was. But yeah, I like this chapter. Like I said, they did a good job with showing everybody off, and also showing how mighty the Sun God is, and how petty both Luna and the Sun God are. That this is all just some game to them,
Some game.
and God constantly wins, or they just keeps resetting, right? So
Yeah,
he never wins.
He just keeps winning. I don't know what constitutes an actual win for them then. Do they just play this game till fucking eternity? I don't know.
Perhaps. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Jojo! That's for Unburn.
Yeah. I don't really have much else to say though. Are you all wrapped up?
Yeah, I'm wrapped up. It's a cool chapter. What
All
can
right.
I say?
Well,
They tried to kill God. That shit was lit. But
Yeah.
they didn't.
yeah. That being said, let's bring this one home. That has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening to this little early edition of the show. You can find me at the Curtis Aspinall on Twitter and Instagram. Josh at JDCole_37 on Instagram. New Jump City Josh on Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can follow Brian at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram, and he plays video games on Twitch sometimes at twitch.tv/itspunchline. You can email the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter. You can email the show at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. Let us know in the email, or you can comment underneath whatever video you're watching, whether it's the full version of the pod or the highlight breakouts we make for you guys every week. So check us out on that. Brian, was that you?
Yeah.
You're back?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just came out of nowhere. All we hear is but yeah, do that. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit that smash that subscribe button really hard with your full fist. And hit that bell notification so you guys never miss an upload. You can like the podcast, please do. That would be super cool. Comment your thoughts on this week's chapter, on this week's manga, your thoughts on the show in general. And subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. The audio version of the podcast usually goes up first, so if that's your bag, get into it. Leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening to. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back next week. Very excited. But yeah, take care. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace out, everybody. Thanks for listening.